Superpowers, the one thing that has fascinated fans for decades, fueling endless curiosity about how powerful, unique, and unstoppable each character's abilities truly are. By the way, I'm Divine, aka Devascusarts. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. It's a small move for you, but a big boost to the channel, so we can keep bringing you more interesting content. Mutants, Mutates, and the Inhumans. Ever wonder what makes a mutant different from a mutate or an Inhuman? Marvel's power classification can be a bit confusing. Let's clear it up. Today we're diving into the science behind the X gene, human-altered DNA, and the Terrigen mist. Mutants owe their origin to the Celestials, who experimented on early humanity millions of years ago, planting the seeds for evolutionary divergence. This genetic tampering led to the creation of three branches: Eternals, Deviants, and Humans, with a dormant X gene hidden within humankind. Over time, mutants became known as Homo superior, often feared and persecuted for being the natural successors to humankind. Mutants are born with the X gene, a genetic mutation that grants powers. X gene can be inherited and remain dormant until triggered, usually puberty. Explains why some mutants develop powers later in life. Can result in a wide variety of powers. A mutant's powers are often confined to the specific concept of their ability. For example, one may only project optic blasts while another controls the weather. In most cases, their gifts don't provide any physical enhancement, leaving them just as fragile as ordinary humans. Exceptions exist, of course. Mutants like Beast, Wolverine, and Colossus possess abilities directly tied to physical strength, durability, or regeneration. Some mutants carry multiple X gene variations, giving them combined abilities that make them nearly unstoppable. Wolverine, for instance, has both rapid healing and heightened senses. Jean Grey wields both telepathy and telekinesis. And Emma Frost possesses telepathy along with her diamond form. These overlapping powers make certain mutants incredibly versatile. However, there are also rare mutants with powers that have virtually no upper limit. Figures like Jean Grey, Magneto, and Charles Xavier wield abilities so vast that they can be devastatingly destructive. Yet, even at their most powerful, their gifts remain bound to the core concept of their mutation. This means that despite their overwhelming influence over minds, matter, or energy, they often remain physically vulnerable to straightforward attacks. Now, mutates are a little different. Unlike mutants, they aren't born with the X gene. Instead, they acquire their powers through accidents or external factors like Spider-Man's radioactive bite, the Hulk's gamma radiation, Captain America's super soldier serum, or the Fantastic Four's cosmic ray exposure. Most mutates develop abilities that are either purely destructive or heavily tied to physicality. Take the Hulk or Sentry, for example. Their sheer strength puts them in a league of their own, far beyond any mutant or Inhuman when it comes to raw power. But not all mutates are defined by brute force. Some gain abilities shaped by the unique circumstances of their transformation. Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, is a perfect case. His exposure to cosmic energy granted him pyrokinesis far greater than any mutant or Inhuman with fire-based powers. In fact, he can ignite into a full supernova, unleashing destructive force on a massive scale. Inhumans are not mutants or mutates. The Inhumans were created millions of years ago when the alien Kree experimented on early humans. These experiments altered human DNA, giving rise to a new hidden race. Unlike mutants, their powers don't appear naturally. They're unlocked through the Terrigen mist. Terrigen mist is a mutagenic substance that activates latent Inhuman genes. Activation can be unpredictable, can grant incredible powers, or dangerous mutations. They built their own secret society, mostly known as the City of Adelan. Inhumans differ greatly from mutants, especially in terms of physicality. After exposure to the Terrigen mist, Inhumans naturally possesses enhanced strength, just slightly below that of a super soldier. Think of it as their bodies becoming hardened to support whatever powers emerge. This trait comes from the original Kree experiments, though it's rarely emphasized in most depictions. Unlike mutants, whose powers manifest randomly, Inhuman abilities are unlocked deliberately through Terrigenesis. And once transformed, no matter what form their powers take, they retain a baseline of superhuman strength. Even Inhumans whose abilities aren't physical, like Crystal with her elemental control, Medusa with her living hair, or Karnak with his precision strikes, still possess enhanced strength. But when their gifts are physical, they can reach extraordinary levels. Gorgon, for example, is powerful enough to stand toe-to-toe with Colossus or the Thing, and his seismic stomps can trigger devastating earthquakes. Inhumans can be incredibly powerful, but their gifts often come with heavy limitations. Take Black Bolt, for example. His voice alone could level a city, yet he's forced to remain silent, since even a whisper could annihilate anyone nearby. The key difference between mutants, mutates, and Inhumans comes down to the origin and nature of their powers. Mutates are the most distinct of the three, because they start out as ordinary humans who gain abilities through accidents or experiments that alter their DNA and physiology. Their powers can range from mild and grounded, like Spider-Man, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Daredevil, Captain America, and Black Panther, to highly destructive, like the Sentry, the Hulk, the Human Torch, Blue Marvel, or Captain Marvel. Whether it's enhanced physicality or cosmic-level energy, their abilities depend entirely on the nature of their transformation. Mutants and Inhumans, however, are a trickier comparison. Their powers often look similar from the outside, but the origins are very different. Mutants are born with the X gene, and their powers manifest randomly, usually at puberty. Inhumans, on the other hand, are humans with Kree-altered DNA whose abilities are unlocked intentionally through the ritual of Terrigenesis. To most people, once the powers appear, they seem the same, but the difference lies in how they came to be. Chronologically, the X gene has existed long before the Kree ever experimented on humanity. As the Celestials are recognized as a true architect of human evolution, they were the ones who implanted the genetic potential that gave rise to mutants. Because of this, it's possible for a person to carry both the X gene and latent Inhuman DNA. This means that even after mutant powers manifest, exposure to the Terrigen mist can still awaken their Inhuman abilities, creating a rare hybrid of both lineages. Ms. Marvel is revealed to be both an Inhuman and a mutant, making her a hybrid in recent comic storylines. Both mutants and Inhumans can also show physical changes as a side effect of their powers. For instance, Gorgon gained immense strength but was left with horse-like legs, and the Inhuman known as the Gate transformed into a living teleportation portal, losing mobility entirely. Similarly, mutants like Nightcrawler, Beast, and Angel also experience physical transformations they couldn't control. The real separation between the two comes down to scale. Inhumans are generally stronger than most mutants when it comes to baseline superhuman strength. However, mutants who are gifted with physical powers of their own, like Colossus or Juggernaut, can easily rival or even overpower some of the strongest Inhumans. Where Inhumans shine in physicality, mutants hold the advantage in versatility and range. Mutants possess a far greater spectrum of conceptual and reality-bending powers. Some are classified as Omega-level threats, with no upper limit to what they can do. Wanda Maximoff can warp reality itself. Jean Grey wields overwhelming telepathy and telekinesis, as well as the Phoenix Force. Iceman manipulates matter at a molecular level, and Magneto commands magnetic fields on a planetary scale. There are no Inhumans who reach that level of sheer potential. That said, the Inhumans are still incredibly powerful. Black Bolt, their king, can channel the destructive energy of his voice to level cities, and even without speaking, he can focus that power inward to increase his physical strength to rival beings like Ikaris. Still, most Inhumans have a natural ceiling to their abilities, while mutants often evolve into powers with virtually limitless potential. In the end, mutants hold the overall edge, not just in diversity of abilities, but in the sheer scope and scale of what they're capable of. Thanks for watching and sticking around till the end. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think there are even more differences between mutants, mutates, and inhumans? Drop your take in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into the world of superpowers.